Okay, and here we are with our pack 1 pick 1. Our rare is Bosri. This card is just fine. It's a 2/1. You can exert it to make 1/1 cats. There are some pretty cool like black-white decks you can play with Bosri making cats, but I definitely don't want to pick, a mediocre white card as our first pick. This pack does also have Thundering Broodwagon. It has Voyage Home, Sky Serpent Seeker, Flood the Engine. It's got lots of good cards. I do think I'm going to take this Broodwagon. I think the best cards in this pack are all multicolor, and green-black and green-blue are definitely better than the white-blue card. Flood the Engine is also good, but I really love Thundering Broodwagon. It's just a very impactful card. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. Okay. Elvish Refueler. I think this is one of the strongest cards in the set by a pretty large margin. So I'm probably just going to snap this off. But let's take a look at what else is in the pack. There is Memory Guardian. It's a flying 3/4 that has affinity for artifacts. Pretty good in the artifact decks. Back on Track is pretty good. It's a reanimate that makes a pilot, which, is fairly good with these cycling cards. But I think Elvish Refueler is just way too good of a card. I'm going to go ahead and take it. Okay. This pack has some things. Migrating Ketrodon is a great green card. I also love Vinwixt. Unfortunately, green decks aren't the best at starting your engines or abusing it. And so I don't think Vinwixt is best in these decks. I think it's better in like blue-black kind of artifact shells. There is another Memory Guardian, so, hopefully the person we're passing to sees some of these signals and goes into blue. I do think I'm going to go ahead and take the Ketrodon. We have 3 good green cards. This is a great green card, and I'm pretty happy to have it in our deck. I clearly am not talking about the packs enough. Normally, we're not waiting on packs. I'm talking through the whole time, but this time I did not talk enough. So we'll have more time to talk about the picks for the future. Okay. The only green card in this pack is Broken Wings. I don't hate this card. There are a lot of artifacts and enchantments in this format, but it's not something I want to take this highly. There's a stock up. This card's great. Intimidation Tactics. I also really like this card. I find that it hits some of the strongest cards in the format. Gallant Strike is pretty good. Gravestalker is great in these like black-green decks because they fill their the graveyard with lots of creatures, and I love Engine Rat. Love Engine Rat. 1/1 with Death Touch has never looked so good. The Intimidation Tactic does also have cycling. I really don't know which of these 3 black cards I want to take. I think I'm going to take the I think I'm going to take the Gravestalker. I am not confident on that choice, though. Okay. This pack has Pit Automaton. It has Midnight Mangler. It has a Bestow Greatness. It has another Gravestalker. I do really like Bestow Greatness. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take this Bestow Greatness. And we'll go ahead and see what happens next. Okay. This pack is like pretty underwhelming just generally. There's a 7/2, which is pretty underwhelming. Ripclaw Wrangler. I also don't like that card. Camera Launcher. I think I'm just going to take this Voyage Home. I think there's like basically 0 chance we play it, but I think there's almost 0 chance we play any of these cards. And so, I guess I could just take the white-blue land. I'll take the land, maybe there's a chance we want fixing or something. Okay, Hellish Sideswipe. This card's great. Black removal spell. As an additional cost, sack an artifact or creature. If you sacrifice a vehicle, then you draw a card. We do have vehicles possibly to sacrifice, but this is some of the only removal in the set where we don't have to select, anything for it. And so I'm going to go ahead and just take it. Okay. I do like having 1 Deathless Pilot in a lot of these decks, but I don't know if I like that more than having Scrap Compactor. I think Deathless Pilot is a super replaceable card, and I do really like having Compactor just as a way to add additional removal to our deck. I'm super happy to have Omnivore. You know, it's a 2-mana 3/2, which really has a baseline of how bad it can be. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. Wow, the Back on Track Wield. I'm super happy to take Back on Track. We've got several things that cycle that are pretty expensive here. And Back on Track, I think, you know, is just one of the better reanimation things. So go ahead and take that. We'll take the Matrix. I don't know if we're going to play it, but wow, the Intimidation Tactics Wield. I almost consider taking the Intimidation Tactics like pretty highly. So I'm pretty happy to see it on the wheel. And then I'm just going to put the Wrangler in my sideboard. I never want to play that card. Okay. So we're looking pretty good going into this pack. Our rare is Winter. This card is very good, but I do think you already want to be in artifact synergies, and so I don't really think it's the thing I want to splash for. The thing I am super willing to splash for is this Ranger's Refueler. We do already have Elvish Refueler, which works really well with this card, and it is just generally pretty strong. We don't have fixing yet, so, you know, I don't know if I like that over Ooze Patrol or Spin Out, which are, you know, very strong cards in our colors. I do really love Ranger's Refueler, though. The responsible pick is Spin Out or Ooze Patrol. Either one, I think, is very good. I want the Ranger's Refueler so bad. I'm going to take it. I'm not suggesting that anybody else do this, but I'm pretty happy to just find the fixing along the way and take cards I'm excited to play. Okay, so we're now looking at a pack that has a blue removal spell, Beast Rider Vanguard, another Gravestalker, or a blue-green land. I do kind of want to play this Ranger's Refueler, and with both Ranger's Refueler and Elvish Refueler, I do think green-blue is a pretty happy place to be. This does mean that we're splashing in our green-green-black-black deck. Maybe that's a little bit too sketchy. Maybe I should have taken the Ooze Patrol instead of the Ranger's Refueler. Should we be responsible from here? I don't like being responsible. I think I'm going to take the Gravestalker and be responsible. Especially because we passed so much blue. Alright, I'm going to put the Ranger's Refueler over here, so, you know, it's a little further out of mind. Okay. This pack has an Engine Rat, a Black Greenland, and an Alacrian Jaguar. I do think I'm just going to take Engine Rat. I love this card. I'm super happy to have it in all of my decks. Okay. We can take another Gravestalker. We can take a Night Market. I do think I'm just going to take the Night Market. You know, we could also take Flood the Engine. We already have 2 Gravestalkers. And I think I'd rather leave myself open to possibly playing Ranger's Refueler or some other stronger cards down the line. More Gravestalkers isn't always bad, though. I do think I'm going to take the Night Market. I just don't want to play this many Gravestalkers, I don't think. Okay. Another card I'd be super happy to splash for in a deck like this is Thunderhead Gunner. There is a Back on Track and then 2 more fixing lands. I think I just want to take another fixing land. I don't think there's a situation where I want to play more than 1 Back on Track. And Night Market gives us the opportunity to possibly play some more of our other cards. Sheffet Archfiend. There is also a Beast Rider Vanguard, which is definitely a good green 2-drop, but I do like Sheffet Archfiend with Back on Track. I think I want to take our Beast Rider Vanguard. I just don't really like Sheffet Archfiend. I don't think it hits very many things in this set. I'm going to go ahead and take Pit Automaton. There are not really any other cards in our colors that we want here, and this taps for our exhaust abilities if we get any more of them and can possibly double them. So it feels worth having. Okay. This is Ovika. It puts a creature or vehicle from our hand onto the battlefield, and if you put an artifact in, it gets 2 counters. I think this card is generally pretty terrible. That being said, if there was a deck it was going to be good in, this does look like one. I do like Rise from the Wreck, though. This targets a creature a mount, a vehicle, and a card with no abilities. We do already have something with no abilities. Oh, I'm so happy this Ooze Patrol wheeled. And we have, you know, a vehicle. We don't yet have a mount, but I think this is likely to get back 3 things in this deck, which is definitely enough. So I'm going to go ahead and be excited about this Rise from the Wreck, not just take it because we have to. I think I'll take this Wreck Remover. I do like Canyon Vaulter, but if there's anything we're splashing for, I don't think it's any of these cards. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just put this Alacrian Jaguar in our sideboard. I don't think we're playing it. I'm going to take the white-black land. I don't want to play the other cards. Guess we'll take the second back on track. Repurposing Bay. Well, I don't think that's going to be our playable blue card. There's a Wretched Doll in this pack. This card's pretty good. It surveils. The only green card in our pack is Silken Strength. Not the most exciting of them. You know, one day we'll open Push the Limit. I'm going to force Push the Limit in one of these drafts when we see it earlier, but we did not see it until now. I do think I'm just going to go ahead and take this Wretched Doll. It's a pretty good card. Surveilling seems pretty good in this deck that, you know, references the graveyard a fair bit. Mendicant Core, not something we're playing from here. There's 2 great cards. Wow, there's a lot of great cards, not even just 2. Carrion Cruiser is great in these decks. It mills and then returns something from your graveyard. But I love Ryzen Necroregent. The problem with Ryzen Necroregent in this deck is that we don't have any other ways to start our engines. So Carrion Cruiser is probably the more responsible choice. Earth Rumbler also very good. I think Earth Rumbler probably is better than the Carrion Cruiser. We already have a fair amount of ways to refill our graveyard. This is a 7/6 Vigilant Trample. It's just huge. Okay, I do think I'm going to take Wreckage Wicker Folk. I do like Rise from the Wreck. We do already have one, and we don't have any mounts for the one we have already. And I like 2 drops. It surveils. This is just like an A+ common. We'll go ahead and take that. I'm definitely on the lookout for mounts. As much as I really would like to take this Rise in Necroregent too, this pack has Run Over, and our removal is decently light. And Run Over is very good with a lot of the cards that are currently in our deck, so I'm going to go ahead and take that. This pack, way less exciting. Grim Javelineer, Wrangler, and Silken Strength. I don't really care for any of these cards. I don't think any of them are making our deck. I'll take the Grim Javelineer, but I anticipate cutting it. I am going to go ahead and just move this Refueler out of my vision. Our deck is too strong without it. Okay, I do think I'm going to take Carrion Cruiser over the Wicker Folk. This card's pretty strong, especially in these synergy spots. And I do like having Carrion Cruiser because we can sacrifice it to Hellish Sideswipe. So I'll take that. I am going to take that one Deathless Pilot I mentioned that I like to play now that there's less exciting things in the pack. Do you think I'm going to still play maximum 1 back on track? And I think Wreck Remover is our next cut from here. We don't have any white cards we would consider playing, right? No, we do have a lot of fixing in this color pair already. I do think I'm going to go ahead and just take another Beast Rider Vanguard, though. I'm not convinced Pit Automaton is going to make our deck. As much as I love the Automaton. Okay, there is a Dismal Blackwater. Go ahead and take it. I really don't think we're going to play fixing just for our Rangers Refueler. We do already have this Elvish Refueler. They just work so well together. We didn't really see anything else. We just saw Elvish Refueler and Rangers Refueler relatively early. Oh, Guidelit Matrix definitely does not make our deck. I'm going to go and put this Detention Cherry in our board. I don't think we're playing any of the other cards over taking this Detention Chariot away from somebody. Okay. I do think I'm going to go back and put back in a card I cut. Let's see. Grim Javelineer, we can play another back on track. Oil Gorger, or there's the Wreck Remover. I just don't think we want this Pit Automaton in our deck. Pit Automaton's not terrible. It does also pay for Deathless Violet. And I have mentioned that I like O4s, but I don't think it's better than either the Oil Gorger or the Javelineer. Our tap end is pretty massive, so I don't think we want this Oil Gorger. I wonder if maybe we do want to play 2 back on tracks. I don't think so. We're just like a little too lacking for things we're excited to reanimate. I think I like this deck. It does mean Rise from the Wreck is only ever hitting 3 things. I don't think we ever got a mount. But it does have a couple of vehicles it can hit. A fair amount of creatures. We do only have the 1 Omnivore. But even if it gets back 2 things, I think you're perfectly happy with that. So I think I'm pretty happy with this. And let's see, this suggests 9 Forest, 8 Swamp. That looks good to me. We like having an extra forest anyway because of Elvish Refueler. We do have a lot of black cards we want to play on 1. I think I'm going to overwrite and play 9 and 8. Okay, I will see you guys for match number 1. Welcome to match number 1 with our cool black-green deck that we drafted. We have a Rise from the Wreck, we have something to cycle on turn 2, we have an Elvish Refueler, we have a Carrion Cruiser. I think I'm happy with this hand. I do plan, unless we find something better to do on turn 2 to cycle, we can get it back with Carrion Cruiser or Rise from the Wreck, and so I feel no reason to keep it in our hand instead of getting an additional game piece or card. Alright, our opponent has played nothing before they've played their 3 lands. Okay, so I think I'm going to play Carrion Cruiser. It's going to mill and possibly make our Rise from the Wreck a little better. They haven't played anything yet, which makes me think they might have a counterspell, and I really don't want our Elvish Refueler to get countered here. And so I'm going to go ahead and play our Carrion Cruiser. Alright, it appears they didn't have anything instant speed. Okay. I think I want to take... The Gravestalker will be 4 mana next turn because there's 2 creatures in our yard. I think I'll take that. That looks like a pretty good play for our next turn. Mutant Surveyor. Interesting. They don't have a land drop either. Okay. We'll play our Gravestalker. And then... Are we ever blocking? I don't think so. Because we're ahead on lands and our opponent is struggling to play cards, I do think I just want to attack, be the aggressor. It's also difficult, like if they draw a land, we're not blocking this anyway. And this does put an artifact in our, or a vehicle in our graveyard for Rise for the Wreck at some point if they block. Alright, they didn't attack. I am going to play our Elvish Refueler. At this point, I am not really sure what our opponent has, but we can use it to crew our Carrion Cruiser. Continue with our aggressive attacks. Okay. Maximum Overdrive? That makes sense. Probably could have anticipated that one, but... I'm going to go ahead... I guess there's no reason to activate it now. We've drawn a lot of lands. Wow, we have 9 lands. That's okay. Rise from the Wreck hopefully will get 2 things. Attack for 3. No problem. I'll go ahead and activate our exhaust. Start working on making our creature a little bigger. Earth Rumbler. This is pretty good. If we cast Earth Rumbler, we can't exhaust our Elvish Refueler this turn, but I don't think we care about that. Do you think I am just going to attack for 3? I could have considered crewing and attacking with the cruiser. It does put a vehicle in our yard, but I think I'm more likely to want to get our Earth Rumbler back with Rise from the Wreck. I do also need to think now what I want to keep in my yard because we need things to animate the Earth Rumbler. I think I'm going to leave the Wicker Folk and the Gravestalker. Javelineer is just a worse card than the other ones. Alright, our opponent did find their 4th land. Hellish Sideswipe. Okay. They did destroy it. I could have crewed, or made it a creature in response and then crewed the cruiser, but I didn't think they were going to attack anyway with the way they've been playing. Okay. We have 6 lands, so we can't Rise from the Wreck and play Earth Rumbler. We can Rise from the Wreck. Gravestalker would cost 4. So we can Rise from the Wreck and play our Gravestalker. I think I like that. We could also exhaust this, but they can also pump their creature. I think I just want to continue putting more permanents on the board. Target up to 1 target creature, 1 target mount, 1 target vehicle. Okay. And I think we're happy here to even get 2 cards. All right. Our opponent has seen enough. With that, we are on our way up the ranks, and I will see you guys for the next game. Okay, here we are with the next game. This is pretty cool. We have a Hellish Sideswipe, which will be a way to remove something. We can probably sacrifice the pilot we get from Back on Track. And we can cycle our Gravestalker, which will make our other Gravestalker cheaper and give us something to reanimate. So I think I'm pretty happy with this hand. It does lose like the most aggressive hands, but there aren't very many of that in this format from my experience. Alright, our opponent is considering what they're doing. You know, I always forget how many kinds of sleeves. These don't even look like Magic the Gathering sleeves. I've never seen... I mean, I've seen these exact sleeves, but I said the same thing. Rugged Highlands. Okay. We will pass the turn, planning to cycle our Gravestalker. This did also give us a play for turn 3. So we can play Cruiser and at the very least get back our Gravestalker, which is cool. Okay, they played a 3-1. Alright, got another land. And another land. Okay, we will go ahead and play Carrion Cruiser. This is one of the best things you can sacrifice to Hellish Sideswipe because it draws you a card. I think I want to get back the Wicker Folk. Our plan probably is going to be to play Back on Track on the Gravestalker. And the Wicker Folk gives us a little bit more selection, which I like. We are going to take 3 here. Upping our opponent's speed. Scrap Compactor. That'll give them something to kill our Wicker Folk. Okay, let's go ahead and play our Wicker Folk. Before we play our land, there's no reason to play the land first. Okay, Elvish Refueler is a great card. Happy to have it, and we definitely do not need any more land, so I'm going to leave the Refueler on top. Play a land, and then pass it off. Even if our opponent tries to compact to the Wicker Folk, we can use it to crew the cruiser. And if they attack, then we'll crew the cruiser, and then if they scrap compact to the cruiser, I think we're pretty happy. Okay. They did do it onto the Wicker Folk. We'll go ahead and crew the cruiser. I am going to learn from the game actions we've taken in some of these other games and save our removal spell for when I think we really need it. Okay. I'm deciding if I want to cycle this. I don't think so. We're going to Back on Track the other one. If this costs 2 mana, I would probably play Refueler and the Gravestalker this turn. But I'm going to get the pilot with Back on Track and just get back our Gravestalker, I think. If we played this one for 3 mana, we wouldn't have anything to do with the rest of the mana anyway. Outpace Oblivion. Alright, that'll kill the Gravestalker, giving us enough creatures in our graveyard to play the other Gravestalker. Unfortunate for our poor opponent. Go ahead and attack for 1. Sneak in our point of damage, get him back down to 20. I'm going to play the Gravestalker. If there's one they counter, I do actually think I want it to be the Gravestalker. I just value Refueler so high in matches like this. So I played the Gravestalker first so that if they had the 2 mana counterspell, that they did it on the Gravestalker. Alright. It's funny, our opponent played a green-red land and then played all blue lands. Okay. Go ahead and attack with everything. Is there a reason I don't want to attack with the pilot? I don't think so. It can crew the Earth Rumbler, but I don't think that's priority number 1 here. Sneak in our extra point of damage, play our Earth Rumbler, and see what they have for us. It's not looking so great for them. They have not played very many cards this game. And there goes the explosion. I feel like we've played 2 non-games so far. But we have made it to Gold 2. And, you know, we're on the up and up, so. Okay, welcome back for match number 3. Again, we have 3 lands. We have a Gravestalker. This time we have a 2-drop. We have an Omnivore. And we have a Bestow Greatness, which is a pretty cool card to play on our Gibrick Omnivore, either as a defensive spell or something more aggressive maybe later in the game. And then we got to catch it on to top it all off. So I like this hand. Go ahead and play a land. Planning to play our Omnivore. Jungle Hollow. It is also better on the play. This is like almost an aggro hand. Our opponent said hello. We will make sure we say hello back. I did just learn how to add all of these other things after our last draft. So we do have more things we can say to our opponent now than we used to. Okay. Go ahead and attack for 3. And I do think we're probably cycling something. I just didn't want to use Bestow Greatness to push an extra 3-4 points of damage. Whatever it is. Alright, Broodheart Engine putting a land in the yard. I think I'm happier to cast Ketradon than Gravestalker, and so I do think... we do get to play Gravestalker a turn earlier if we cycle Ketradon. But we don't get to play it next turn anyway. I think I'm going to cycle the Gravestalker. Ketradon is just a much stronger card. Another Broodheart Engine. These would be good in our deck. Okay, we'll go ahead and cycle. Okay, we got lots of lands. Go ahead and place another attack. You know, Gravestalker looks better now that we've only drawn lands. But I'm sure we'll find something to do at some point. Okay, they did leave it on top with their double surveil. See what they play. A Wreckage Wickerfolk. Well, that's not terribly exciting for our opponent. 2 more lands in the yard. It appears we're both seeing a lot of lands. Momentum Breaker. That's rude. Although I would rather it be the Omnivore than the Ketradon. And I'm not going to cycle the Ketradon. I think we're happy to play it on turn 6. Although I would like any non-land card. We have not drawn a non-land card yet this game. Alright, our opponent has put an Engine Rat in the yard. Anything cool to reanimate? Nope. Another land. It appears our opponent is just surveilling all of the lands that we have drawn and not gotten to play. They can attack us for 1. The 2 Broodheart Engines is pretty scary. Alright, now they have a Gravestalker. Thankfully our Ketradon is a little bit bigger than it. Thundering Broodwagon. That's another good one. It doesn't destroy too much that's exciting here, so I am going to just play this Ketradon. I considered playing this first to destroy something, and then playing the Ketradon so that we had a menace creature to attack with instead of the Ketradon. But Ketradon's a good blocker where we wouldn't have a blocker otherwise with Broodwagon. And, you know, with two Broodheart engines in play, and not being able to kill the Gravestalker, I just don't think we have a good target for the Broodwagon. I'd rather them use like one of the Broodheart engines and then kill the other one or something. Oh well. It appears now we will be losing it to intimidation tactics, which is rather unfortunate. But we'd rather lose that than the Ketrodon, so I think we're happy with our game action either way. I think our opponent is considering sacrificing the Broodheart engine to get back an Engine Rat. It does give them a good blocker for the Ketrodon. I don't think it's the craziest of ideas. Maybe they want to reanimate it? I don't think they have maximum overdrive. I don't believe our opponent is doing us that big. I think they're likely to reanimate it. Maybe they have a kill spell from there, but oh, it's just enough to cast their Gravestalker. Unfortunately, our Thundering Broodwagon did go to exile. Otherwise, this back on track would have been really crazy. Okay, so if we cast... I was thinking if we attack and then cast Bestow Greatness if they double block, our creature still dies, and they have Broodheart engines, and so I don't think I like that play. I'm just going to go ahead and play the back on track. We'll get our own Gravestalker back, and I'm uninterested in 2-for-1 trades because they can just get their things back. We have our work cut out for us against a double Broodheart engine for sure. Pothole Mole, okay. Mill some more cards. Get back a land. They do have 18 cards in the library. Maybe we can get through our opponent's whole deck. Run over. Okay, I mean, that does get rid of one of our creatures. I don't think that means too much for our opponent, given that they can't get rid of the Ketrodon. Alright, Ooze Patrol, pretty good. It'll mill some cards and get a little bigger. Oh, wow, this was a great mill. We milled a land that we didn't want to draw, and now we can start getting our Deathless Pilot back, which, you know, gives us a free... Not that it's crazy to have a 2-2, but it is something to do with all of our mana. Okay, we did bin some cards, decreasing the total cards in our opponent's library. I think there's definitely a non-zero chance that our opponent just decks 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12 lands, means they likely have 5 lands left. Right, they are sacrificing a Broodheart engine for an Engine Rat. Invalidating our attacks. It does mean that they can deal 2 damage a turn, but I imagine we will be okay to 2 damage a turn. Hellish Sideswipe. Well, if we really care about the 2 damage a turn, we can kill it. I'm not really in a rush to. We can sacrifice our Deathless Pilot whenever we want to use our Hellish Sideswipe. I wonder, with Trample, maybe we're in a place where we can start making some attacks. They do only have 1 more Reanimate. Alright, this might be really aggressive, but I am going to go ahead and make some attacks. I do kind of want the Engine Rat out of our lives. And we can trample over for a bunch. If they take the double block, we can also bestow greatness here to kill both. It might have been worth casting Hellish Sideswipe and killing one of the Gravestalkers first. I don't think I like our game action that we took, but that's okay. We can consider trading with only one of the Gravestalkers and dealing 9 points of damage this turn. 9 points of damage is a lot of damage. They do have pretty much infinite blockers, though. I do think I'm going to go ahead and just clear the board. Do they have some sort of trick? Maximum Overdrive? Maximum Overdrive would be really bad for us. Oh, Indestructible Hexproof. That's still not great. We do have to do lethal damage to it, unfortunately. Well, I don't think I like our game action that we took. But that's okay. We're going to draw Carrion Cruiser, which will make it a little better. They can just get their 5/4 back. We were in a pretty good board stall, too. I think we might have thrown this one away. Grim Bauble. Unfortunately, with just 1 mana, not enough to get it back. Get back another 5/4. We'll take some damage. Beast Rider Vanguard. Well, this card is pretty good here. We can start looking for permanent cards next turn. I do think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of one of the Gravestalkers. It's a little awkward. I think I'm going to get rid of one of the Gravestalkers this turn with the Pilot, and then activate the Beast Rider Vanguard. I just really want to find permanent cards to deal with their last large creature. And by getting rid of their big creatures, I think we're more likely to stabilize. Hopefully recover from the error of our ways. Take 7. Speed of 4. They've decided they want to surveil 2 now. There are reasons you might want to do it, but I think it's like Carrion Cruiser back on track. And I think I would just cast Carrion Cruiser and sacrifice the Grim Bauble at a time that was a little bit better for drawing cards. So I'm not sure what they're trying to do with this. We are playing against someone in silver, so not that I think you should ever think less of your opponents. I think you should always assume that they're doing the best thing possible. It just makes you think about the game better, and you're more likely to play around things. All right, we're really thinking about our surveil. I'm so excited to see what our Beast Rider Vanguard cooks up for us. All right, let's see. They binned a Forest and a Broken Wings. They played a Venom Sacklegak, which is fine. They are definitely running out of cards in their yard. Okay, well, this is not so exciting, but I guess we'll take it. Carrion Cruiser is the draw we wanted, for sure. Let's go ahead and play it, and then we'll consider what we're getting back. All right, land, run over. I think Ketradon is the best of our choices. We can't play the Ketradon this turn, though, which definitely makes it worse. Maybe we're better off getting a 5/4 because of that. The problem is the Lagak attacking for 2. Ooze Patrol will be massive. And we can play it this turn. I think I'm in for that, actually. We'll play our big ooze. They can still attack with the Lagak, but attacking for 2 is way less scary than attacking for everything else. And we will be able to kill it with Scrap Compactor. So this is, I think, our most defensive position. And they do only have 9 cards left, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So definitely more cards than lands, but there's still some lands in there. Right, they are saddling. We anticipated this. And I'm okay taking 2. No blocks. Another Pothole Mole. One more step to our opponent decking themselves. Thundering Broodwagon in the yard. Good to see it. Thinking about what land they want. Got their forest, playing it. Gaining 4 life. I have a feeling that, you know, life is not going to be the way we win this game. This is nice. 1 mana 5/4. I do think 1 mana 5/4 means we want to buy back our Deathless Pilot instead of activating the Vanguard. I also am just going to activate this now. I don't even want to worry about this Legac anymore. It feels like one of the ways they possibly kill us, especially now that we have 2 big creatures. We have lots of ways to defend their last couple of cards. All right, we'll go ahead and buy our Deathless Pilot back. Who's the Jester now? All right, Engine Rat. I guess we should have activated our Beast Rider Vanguard first because we are activating it anyway. But, nope, we're revealing a land either way. We do have slightly more swamp, so we'll get a forest. Play our Deathless Pilot our opponent knows about, and I honestly don't even care about attacking anymore. I think that there's very little they can do here. They can play like Path Rider Ibex maybe. But even that's not so scary. We'll go ahead and look at the top 3 again. Elvish Refueler is perfect for board stalls like this. I think I'm going to play the Wretched Doll, though. Gives us the opportunity to surveil. Let's use our mana a little bit more efficiently. Pass it over. I guess Pathrider Ibex is a reason. It gives all the things +5/+5 and trample. Trying to remember what removal spells we still have in our deck. Cycling Intimidation Tactics. Alright. Even less cards in our deck. Molt Tender. Still going down on cards. Alright, it appears we are making some attacks. I should have crewed this before blocks. But I think these blocks are fine. Yep, maximum overdrive. This was definitely anticipated. With no problem from us. Okay. We have 9 mana. We buy this back for 4. Puts us on a 5, and then we can't play all of them. So I guess we'll just play our 2 creatures, make sure we don't die. And pass, leaving up all of the things. We've been hit with a good game. Unclear with what direction. We've got a good ping for this. Holy cow. We'll give them a good game. Whether it's our game or their game. Sounds like they want one back. Alright, they're milling themselves. Oh, they have a Speed Demon? Speed Demon would kill him anyway. That's so funny. Speed Demon was one of the bottom cards on their deck. Alright. Well, we've decked our opponent, or they've decked themselves. And we're ready for the next one. We are back after decking our opponent. We have an Engine Rat to play on turn 1. We'll either cycle or hold on to our Gravestalker depending on what we draw. This hand looks okay. Go ahead and throw our Engine Rat onto the battlefield. Beast Rider Vanguard is kind of exactly what we wanted here. We didn't really want to like cycle the Gravestalker, but we needed to find a little bit more gas. Beast Rider Vanguard is a good way of doing that. See what we're getting out of our opponent here. Lagrin. Okay. I don't think they're gonna block. I'm gonna go ahead and attack. I'm happy to bestow greatness if I need to save a creature, but I honestly don't even think I care about my engine rat dying. So we'll just go ahead and attack. Play our 3-drop we just drew. Look at our nice curve right off the top. Lagrin is a pretty scary card, but we're controlling what we can control in this game. Traditional magic back. No little buddy. That's alright. We got our tiny bones over here. Planes from our opponent. Look how cute the dog on this is. Oh, I'm so sorry for the yawn. It has been a long day. Roadside assistance. Well, lifelink is actually pretty scary. Saddle, giving it a counter? Well, they're definitely doing a little bit more to race us. Okay, so we do have Thundering Broodwagon, which is an answer to this card eventually. I don't think we're going to cast Bestow Greatness. And so I actually anticipate cycling our Gravestalker to try to find lands for our Thundering Broodwagon. And so I'm going to go ahead and just exhaust our Elvish Refueler and attack in. Even though they are gaining probably like 4 life this turn, our Elvish Refueler gets bigger, and Bestow Greatness does give us a pretty good aggressive plan. We just need to get to the Thundering Broodwagon so we have a way to kill the Lagrin. Art on this card's pretty cool. Beast Mount. Now this thing can just get bigger every turn. This card's so good. Alright, we're saddling. As you anticipated. Attacking as you anticipated. Okay. Taking 4, exchanging life totals. I do like roadside assistance, but this is not typically how I use it. It does seem to be working out decently well for them, though. It's definitely going to deal a lot of damage by the time we possibly get the opportunity to kill it. Let's go ahead and cycle. Try to find a way to deal with the Lagrin. Okay. Not a land is really scary. It is a flyer, so we do have a blocker. And I do kind of want to play Intimidation Tactics to know our opponent's hand. I'm going to play the Wickerfolk first. I just want to make sure we're going to get lands. Oh, land Runover? Oh, we only have 1 forest. Oh, we do have our Engine Rat. As long as we keep our Engine Rat, that Runover is a response. So I think I'm going to do Runover and then the land. And then we can either make this a 4/5 or possibly attack their hand. Gonna go ahead and make some attacks, I think. I don't know if attacking with the Vanguard was right, but I do want to try to keep their life total from getting out of control. Okay. Let's take this Broadcast Rambler before it's gone, before we can't deal with it anymore. They do have their own Bestow Greatness. Thankfully, that is not going to prevent Runover from killing the Lagrin. And once the Lagrin is dead, we should be in a much better spot. We do want to keep our Wickerfolk alive. I think we don't want to block the Lagrin this turn. Specifically because they are going to have another 2/2 flyer, and our life total is, you know, fragile. Interesting. Wonder if they're considering casting their Bestow Greatness. Just holding up for it, maybe. This thing is pretty scary. Get another counter, go up to 5. If they bestow greatness, it'll be 9, which does heal them, but like I said, I want to keep our Wicker Folk alive since we already have the way to kill the Laggerin. I do think there's a chance we're cycling our Broodwagon on the following turn. We're 2 lands away, and we know one of them is on the top, but it'll be a while before we draw it. I do also think we're going to be in a position where we're not allowed to attack as aggressively. Because of the Bestow Greatness. I wonder if we can get them to play the Bestow Greatness before we kill the Laggerin. If we get them to play the Bestow Greatness before we kill the Laggerin, I think we're in pretty good shape. And it doesn't seem so hard. We let them attack, block it with the Wicker Folk, and then they just try to give it trample. That seems like the most instinctual thing for somebody to do. If you think about it a little bit deeper, maybe you put it on the Lotus Guard Disciple. But I guess that's not lethal, so if you want to make the lethal attack, that's the only way to do it. Okay. See if we can make it happen. Pass to blockers. Put the Wicker Folk on it. Alright, we did get them to cast it, so let's go ahead now. Target a creature we control, target a creature they control. And hopefully our 1/1 Death Touch running over their Laggerin is enough to kind of get control of this game back. We are at 6. And I do think we have to cycle this Broodwagon. Just in case, you know, we find like back on track. We do specifically need to get a second forest. And so, or I guess we do have Beast Rider Vanguard to try to find our forest. We have a blocker in the air. I think we can keep it. With the intent to use our Beast Rider Vanguard. I'm not going to attack. We're at a low life total. I would like to save all of our things to hopefully stay alive. All right. That means good things for us. They're spending all their mana just trying to find something this turn. Luna just gave a meow in the distance. My baby. They got a plains. I wonder if it was all lands. Or if maybe they wanted it for like Detention Chariot or something. Alright, we'll go ahead and activate our Beast Rider Vanguard. We are happy to take our forest. And I think there's almost no chance we're not playing the Thundering Broodwagon here. I think I'm going to get rid of my opponent's Beast Rider Vanguard. This has reach, so we do have 2 things blocking in the air, and I just don't want to give them the opportunity to keep searching their library for things. I do think we can attack with our Elvish Refueler. Oh, there's no reason to. They have Interface Ace. So we'll just pass it back to them. Thundering Broodwagon with the aggressive reach symbol on it all the way down here. They're hovering, they're thinking. Oh, Luna's here, guys. Hi, baby. You want to come say hi? Oh. Lay down. If you purr, they'll all hear you in the little microphone that's up here. You want to purr? We're getting quiet purrs. I'm not sure it's going to be enough for the microphone. Don't think it's going to be loud enough. Ketrodon. Thankfully, we are okay with that. It is definitely of the scarier options for our opponent to have, though. Hello, so maybe they didn't want the land. They wanted the land to play their Ketrodon. Totally reasonable. Hellish Sideswipe. Well, that's a good way to deal with the Ketrodon. The most instinctual thing is to sacrifice our Broodwagon and draw a card. Yeah, I think that's fine. Broodwagon is definitely not like a bad thing to have down here, but maybe I should have attacked with it first. I think I played a little too fast. That's okay. Let's think. I'm thinking if I want to play this Omnivore or if I want to activate Beast Rider Vanguard. We can also attack for 4. I think let's do that. With a plan to play our Omnivore. Hello, baby. Hello. Okay. Do we want to pump it if there are no blocks? I don't think we need to. I think I want to. I'll play our Omnivore. All right. Oh, you're so heavy. Oh. She's messed up my whole ordeal here. Canyon Vaulter, that is kind of scary, actually. Because it can give things flying. Okay. I think I'm happy to play the Grim Javelineer here. We'll go ahead and attack with our Refueler. I do think because of the Canyon Vaulter, there's a chance I want to hold up Bestow Greatness. Hopefully there's block and we can cast Bestow Greatness now. I think if they had something for it, they would have done it already. Okay, they are just taking 5. I'm not sure how much holding up Bestow Greatness does. I am just gonna go ahead and exhaust. Even if they got a mount, they would need, or vehicle, they would need to have something that had haste. And then we do have a blocker, unless they have a way to give it trample. The only thing I could think of was like Spire Mech Cycle would be terrifying, but they only have white and green. We got hit with a good game. We'll tell them good game. This is a good game either way. You know, we both cast spells. We both had lands. Plow through does kill our flyer. Do they have it? They would have to have another Bestow Greatness. It appears not. Alright. If we just attack out, they block our 5/6. They block our 3/2. We can give something trample. It looks like lethal to me. Go ahead and give it to our Grim Javelineer. We do have them taking 10 like this. And I think we can go ahead and cast Bestow Greatness here on our Grim Javelineer, and this should hopefully be the game. All right. Keeping up our streak. Not going to say too much. That ruined us last time, but we're in gold 2 on our up and up. We've got an achievement. We're feeling good. Okay. We are against our platinum opponent, Bunma. We have 2 Gravestalkers, an Omnivore, and Earth Rumbler. I think I'm happy with this hand. Planning on playing our Omnivore on turn 2. Let's play our Swamp first for a change. We normally play our Forest first. Go ahead and play our Omnivore. Fishcar Raceway and a 3/3. Thankfully, our 3/2 does block the 3/3. These colors do make me think that my opponent is going to be a bit more aggressive, and I would like to be the defensive on that end, I think. And so rather than attacking with my 3/2, I'm going to save it back to possibly block their 3/3. We do also benefit from getting more creatures in our graveyard because it decreases the cost of our Gravestalkers. Got a dragon. I don't know if I've ever seen this one. Light wheel enhancements. I do think... Oh, wow. I think I'm definitely double blocking now. I don't really want to take 5. It does also mean we can cast our Gravestalker. I was considering double blocking before the first enhancement, but I don't want to take 5, and it means we can play our card. I'm pretty happy to trade for all of these cards our opponent played. Alright, a 5/4. Nothing too exciting from them there. Let's go ahead and attack for 5, and then I am going to play our Earth Rumbler. This is just really putting a lot of pressure on our opponent all of a sudden. This puts them at an attack for 12 next turn, which is kind of crazy. Alright, Pride of the Road. That is kind of scary, but right now I think we're set to kill them before they kill us. I mean, we're going to deal 12 this turn, and we do have the side swipe in case of emergencies. Okay. I am going to play the Gravestalker. This is, we're not going to do anything with the mana, but just good habit to get into. Oh, I guess we can just crew with the Gravestalker. Look at that. My random habit comment led to us not exiling a card for our Earth Rumbler unnecessarily. Go ahead and play our land, and I have a difficult time thinking about what our opponent could do here to not die. Keen Buccaneer. Collision Course. Well, this likely does keep them alive. We're 1 mana off being able to play the Deathless Pilot and then casting Sideswipe. So I think all of our draws are good. Yeah, because here we can use this to cast a Sideswipe, and then they should be pretty dead. They technically do get to cruise, so I don't think they were dead, but it would have been very difficult for them to win from there. And we're in gold 1. Okay, here we are for match number 6. We don't have green. First time this has been a problem, but we do have 1-drops. We have an Intimidation Tactics to get rid of anything our opponent has, and a Wretched Doll, which does surveil and kind of help us get there. And so I do think I'm going to keep this hand. And I do think I'm going to play... I don't know whether I want to play... I think anything that we would want to take with Intimidation Tactics is going to be a big thing that kills us quickly, which we probably are okay taking later in the game. And so I'm going to play the Engine Rat. Will just help us push a couple points of damage. And then our opponent will have drawn more cards that are possibly their bombs by the time we play the Intimidation Tactics. Okay. We are definitely going to want to surveil, and I don't really want to trade our Engine Rat for this Deathless Pilot. So I'm going to go ahead and just play our Intimidation Tactics. Oh, wow. Our opponent's hand, very good. They have a Thundering Broodwagon. But, let's see, they don't have the color for Perilous Snare yet. I don't know if I'm allowed to play around Perilous Snare if they don't have the mana for it. Just confirm. Yeah, they do have Pothole Mole to find it. I think I'm going to take the Broodheart Engine. It reanimates the Broodwagon and is terrifying, and I think we just need to hope that we can deal with the Perilous Snare or that they never draw white. Oh boy. Well, that's their white. We can hellish sideswipe the Velo Heartbike. Cut them off from their white. I think we are likely to do that. Alright, let's go ahead and surveil. Maybe we can find our forest. And that is our forest. I do think we are kind of obligated to keep it. I do think I want to sacrifice the Beast Rider Vanguard. I think Engine Rat is just a little bit more valuable of a card here than the Beast Rider Vanguard. So, as much as I dislike this, I don't think we have a choice. Especially because they don't have another land to play as of our current information. They're likely to get one off Pothole Mole, but the longer we have to kind of get our shit together before they can play their Broodwagon is what the. They also have the Aether Spark. I'm spooked. Okay, Deathless Pilot's something we're perfectly happy to have in our yard, and we'd rather draw a land anyway. Okay, do we want to play our Beast Rider Vanguard, or do we just want to get back our Deathless Pilot? I think we're happier to get back our Deathless Pilot. The Beast Rider Vanguard's not going to be blocking anyway, and we want to play Earth Rumbler once we have the Manitou. Although if we play Beast Rider Vanguard, we do get to Surveil. I think we'll play the Beast Rider Vanguard. I think we want to find a land. I think we want to Surveil, and I don't know if we're blocking the Pothole Mole. We probably want to. I guess we can take 2 for now. Legak. They are 1 land away from the Broodwagon. Not that the Broodwagon is so scary here. The Broodwagon notably does not hit our Earth Rumbler. The Earth Rumbler is probably dying to the Legak if we ever attack with it. Hopefully they attack with it and we can just trade Death Touch creatures. They can get rid of our Death Touch creature with their Broodwagon, though. Carrion Cruiser? Oh, I don't like that. Okay, it's creature or vehicle, so they can't get back the Aether Spark. That's pretty good for us, I think. Second Broodwagon definitely is scary. I cannot lie to you. Run over. Okay. Run over does mean we can start attacking. And I think maybe we want to. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and crew this with the Wretched Doll. Because it is Vigilance, they would need to do something to... I guess I can just cast Run Over in response to them blocking with the Legak. It has Trample, so they're taking 7 anyway. Okay, we'll cast the Run Over. We theoretically should have used something else to kill it, just in case they had a removal spell, but we have Perfect Knowledge, so we're okay. We've not misplayed. We do have this Deathless Pilot. Alright, they're cycling. That means it's not a land. Dredger's Insight. Also a scary card. They're either going to get their land back or get a Broodwagon and, you know, anticipate getting their land back. Or I guess they can get their Gravestalker. Their deck is so good. Their deck is like our deck, but a little better. Is it 1 mana? It is. Unfortunate for us. That is going to give them a lot more opportunity to, you know, keep drawing into their good cards. Well, we have gotten back a Deathless Pilot from our graveyard. A Swamp. We can just start engine riding them for 2. I think that might be better than casting Deathless Pilot here, to be honest. If we make the Earth Rumbler a creature, they kind of have to block with the Gravestalker. I guess they can animate the Carrion Cruiser to make better blocks. Yeah, I don't really like that. I think I'm just going to plan to start draining them with Engine Rat. I'm not saying it's the best of strategies, but And we're taking what we can get here. Hazard of the Dunes. Okay. Still scary. As soon as they draw land, our plan of engine riding them to death is likely not going to work, but we'll take it while we can get it. Do as much damage as we can. We could also be activating our Beast Rider Vanguard. Oh. Okay. Broodwagon down. Alright, they are killing the Beast Rider Vanguard. I think we're just gonna say it's fine. We do still have our Death Touch creature. Use it to drain. We get a Surveil. Gravestalker. This is good here, I think. As good as it's getting, at least. No situation is really good here. I do think we're just gonna play both of our creatures. Their board is getting pretty scary, and the more things we can fend off, the better. We are also going to lose our ability probably to just keep activating Engine Rat. They do have another removal spell face up. We knew all of these things were problems. We were just putting them off. Alright, our Engine Rat is gone. Maybe we can get a cheeky win with like Bestow Greatness or something. We can't even cast Broodwagon. That's the position we're currently in. Alright, they are crewing. We can just take the 6. I think I will just take the 6. We don't really have great blocks. Gastral Raider. Okay, well. No cards to discard. Okay. I don't think, even though we would need a forest to cast a Broodwagon, I do think we need something better. Another forest. Okay. We can start buying back our Deathless Pilot and recasting it. Not sure how aggressive they're going to get on their attacks. Okay. Crewing the Carrion Cruiser. Oh, I guess they'll use that to crew the Broodwagon. That makes sense. Alright, I do think I'm gonna double block. Mostly because I would like to use the mana to buy back the Deathless Pilot. And I don't really want to block with the Earth Rumbler. So we do still have a good blocker behind us here. Let's surveil. Scrap Compactor. Well, it does destroy something. I'm not sure we can ask for much more than that. I guess we'll leave it there. Get back our Deathless Pilot. Take our turn. We have 8 lands. So we'll play our Compactor, play our Pilot. Okay, I think them doing that kind of means that we just want to kill it instead of cast our Deathless Pilot. I'm going to go ahead and just do this now. I guess there's no reason to rush. I am not going to rush. We'll pass it over. I guess anything that gave it indestructible was a reason to not do this. Thankfully, we did not get punished. They could have considered making other attacks, though, which I don't love. Dune Drifter. Is this just getting back the Broodwagon? Yep. Not great for us. Yeah, let's surveil. Ketrodon. I don't think we were getting much better than Ketrodon here. It gains us some life and is a big creature. Go ahead and play it. Play our Deathless Pilot. Yeah, we definitely could be feeling worse. Crew. I do think I'm going to block with the Earth Rumbler and the Pilot. Yeah, I think I want to. One of the big reasons is that we don't have a vehicle in our yard, and if we draw Rise from the Wreck, then we can just get our Earth Rumbler back. And I don't really want to just, like, continuously take hits from this Thundering Broodwagon. Alright, their own Ketrodon. Not ideal, but could be worse. Alright, I am going to leave the land in our hand. I just don't think there's a reason to play it right now. They have 7, 8, 9, 10 lands. Interesting attacks. My guess is they believe they can just buy back their pilot, which is what we're going to do with it, so. Trying to just get to max speed is my guess. They do gain a life every time they do that. I wonder if we can stabilize enough to just get them to the point where they deck. Carrion Cruiser. Okay, that's good. It can get back our Earth Rumbler. It can get back Gravestalker. I think Earth Rumbler is the best thing to get back. Just because of the Ketrodon being a 6/6. But I am kind of happy just chumping it every turn. Let's see, this costs less for each artifact or creature. So it will cost 1 because of the compactor. I do think I just want to get more big things. That being said, I don't think I'm playing it until next turn. Because I can just buy the Deathless Pilot back again. So I think it's as good of a blocker as any in this situation. Forest. I think they're just going to start attacking with some of their miscellaneous vehicles to try to get their speed up. Okay. They are going to get a speed, but I think that's okay. And get our pilot back. I do think their last card's a land. Okay. We drill land. We'll play our pilot, play our Earth Rumbler. Now we have even more blockers. And there's no reason to play the land now. I guess if we drew a land next turn. No, even that doesn't really matter. If they make it the same attacks, we're still in, I think, a pretty good shape, because we'll just crew the Earth Rumbler, and then we'll eat 2 things. Okay, they are attacking with more things. I'm gonna go ahead and make this a creature. Selling our scrap compactor. Okay, I think because they're giving things counter soon, I do actually want to kill the Ketrodon. I'm going to do that with the Earth Rumbler, I think. Kill the Dune Drifter, and then this thing gets Menace. So we'll go ahead and block that. We could have considered not blocking with the pilot this turn, since we don't technically have enough mana to buy back at end of turn, but I don't think we care. It's very unlikely we draw something where we don't mind paying 4 mana to just get it back. Beast Rider Vanguard is kind of scary. They are running out of cards. Alright, a land. I do think that means that the cards on the bottom are probably also lands. Alright, we've finally drawn a Broodwagon of our own. 7, 8, 9. 10 will get us back our Deathless Pilot. The question is if we're playing the Broodwagon this turn. I think we're maybe not. I think we're buying back the Deathless Pilot and just casting it to block. And I think we're pretty much more than happy with that. And then we'll use the Broodwagon to kill the Perilous Snare next turn, probably. Get back our Engine Rat, give us a extra layer of protection. They do only have Luna's feeder one off, so she's gonna climb in front of us to go get some food. Alright, they got another Gravestalker, and you know, I'm not feeling so bad. We get to rebuy back our Deathless Pilot after blocking. And so we get to pay for this. I don't know why I thought this had Ward. But getting another 1/1 is definitely good for us. Especially with Death Touch. No attacks. No need to buy back our Deathless Pilot. Alright. Thundering Broodwagon. Coming in. Go ahead and get back our Engine Rat. And with 4 cards, I have a hard time believing that they're going to be able to get through this. I am feeling pretty good, I think. I am going to play our land. I don't think there's no reason to hide it. We now also have a lot to do with our mana, and so I think I'm pretty happy to have extra things. Okay. I made a pretty aggressive attack. I think I want to save the Engine Rat. Maybe not. Deathless Pilot cruise the Broodwagon. Really not sure what I want to lose. I think I'm happier to lose the the Broodwagon than the Ketradon. So I'm gonna crew the Ketradon. And then I do want to trade, I think, with both Gravestalkers. So we'll block Gravestalker, Gravestalker, and the Beast Rider Vanguard. I think will be our plan. You know, hopefully killing both of them. Does not look like we die to Bestow Greatness. We'll take a lot, but it doesn't look like we die to it. Maximum Overdrive. Okay, well. Keeps it alive, but does not trample over, so it's a little less scary for sure. Go ahead and buy back our Deathless Pilot. Play our Deathless Pilot. And pass it back. Okay. Block the Pothole Mole. Block the Gravestalker. I guess. Okay, I guess they've decided that they can't win the game. I was gonna say we should probably block the Gravestalker. I did not anticipate winning that game. I think our resilience paid off. They probably could have made some more aggressive attacks in the middle of the game to win the game, if I had to guess. But it's okay. Let's take a break and come back for what is hopefully the last game. Fingers crossed. Okay. We are playing Pilot Swine, which is a Pokemon, fun fact. Our opponent is going first. We do have a 2-drop. I think I'm going to keep this. I ideally would want probably a slightly better hand, but we have a 2-drop and things that surveil, and so I'm going to go ahead and keep it. Back on track does mean we can cycle our Ketradon to get an extra card at some point if we want to, which is nice. Alright, our opponent's put a forest and a plains. Oh, these sleeves are beautiful. Wow. A Gibrick Omnivore. Okay. I was going to play the Wretched Doll, but I do kind of want to be able to surveil with it. I think I'll still play the Wretched Doll, and then I'll just plan to not block. We'll play the Beast Rider Vanguard to block instead. Leonin Surveyor. Alright. Just confirming that I don't want to block this. I do think if we live, we're in a pretty good spot. Yeah, I think I'm just not going to block it. I'm okay to take 2 from the Leonin Surveyor return, and I'm happy to block with the Beast Rider Vanguard. This does give us a good surveil. I love a good surveil. Keeps our surveilling creature alive. Go ahead and block that Omnivore as planned. Take 2. Does that give them some speed? That's not so scary against green-white, though. We'll go ahead and surveil. They didn't play anything. That's interesting. A Gravestalker. I think we're happy to have that. Checking our graveyard. So it's going to cost 5. I think we'll go ahead and keep it. I think there's actually a fair chance that here we just choose to block and then cast Bestow Greatness. We can cast our Gravestalker for 5, and then, you know, we can cast our Ketradon possibly for 6. And we get a Surveil to possibly final land. And then if we play Ketradon, they kill it, and then we get it back. You know, it's never really very good for them. Right. It appears we have eaten a creature. Good for us. Bestow Greatness doing something for us here. Right. Beast Rider Vanguard does mean that if they're flooded, they can start finding some things. But I am not too concerned. Surveil. There's a chance if this is a creature we're not, like, super interested in playing, that we put it in the bin because, yeah, like this card. I am uninterested in playing it. I'm going to put it in the bin, and then that will give us, you know, if we didn't draw this land, we could play our Gravestalker for 4, and we still get our Surveil, which I really like. I value my Surveils, especially now that we basically don't want to get another land for the rest of the game. We do a lot to do with our mana, just the way the deck is built, but if we can draw exciting cards, that's typically a little better for us than unexciting cards. Get a little bit more control. All right, I'll go ahead and Surveil. Carrying Cruiser. Love that card. That's a perfect example of a card we'd like to have. Play our Ketradon into their Ketradon. And then pass it back. We're happy to trade if that's something they want to do. Oh, they're detention charioting. That's significantly ruder. It's pretty annoying, actually. If they attack, do I want to trade with their Ketradon? They have 1 card left. I think probably. We can just cast Carrying Cruiser, get our card back, or cast Back on Track. Yeah, I've decided. If they attack, we're double blocking. Alright. Our thinking has paid us off. Save us some time a little later. Scrap Compactor. Okay, so we can either play Back on Track or Carrion Cruiser. I think... I think I'm going to play Back on Track. It's just pretty mana efficient this turn. And I kind of want to play this compactor. It also does, the turn we play Carrion Cruiser now, we can use our extra 3 mana to crack our compactor and get rid of their Beast Rider Vanguard, which is, oh, Luna, something that's pretty threatening. She has a basket over here. She just really likes sitting in it. All right, they got a Blossoming Sands. I do just kind of want to kill this Beast Rider Vanguard so they can't continuously find things. Hellish Sideswipe. That's a great draw. Okay, let's cast our Carrion Cruiser first, I think. Thinking maybe instead of cracking on the Beast Rider Vanguard, we're just going to kill the Detention Chariot. Ooh, Ooze Patrol is a great card. I think we'll go ahead and take that. It'll be pretty big when we play it. Creature or vehicle. I just don't know if we're in a rush to. I think I'm going to do the more mana efficient play and just crack the compactor on the Vanguard. Kind of stop their flow of permanence with it. And then we'll sideswipe the Detention Chariot next turn. They need to play another creature if they want to crew it anyway. And I think we're pretty happy to just block it if that's given the option and save our sideswipe. Broadcast Rambler, okay. Lagrin. All right, none of these we care about as soon as we get back our Migrating Getrodon. So I think that will be the first thing we do. It does put more things into our graveyard for Ooze Patrol, so it's better to do it first. And we draw a card, so it gives us more options. Ketrodon is back. Gives us another 4 life. I do think before we play the Ooze Patrol, I'm going to attack for 5. I think it's likely that they crew the Rambler to block. Get the 5/4 off the field, and it'll be 1 more +1/+1 counter on our Ooze Patrol. I don't want to get too excited, but our first 7-0 of the Bronze Mythic is looking pretty likely, guys. Maybe they're planning on trying to put counters on or something on it. Milling those lands were pretty good for us. We don't really want any more lands. 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 lands. So there's 6 left. 1 in 3 chance. Whoever cares what the chance is. I don't think I want to give up the Ooze Patrol to the Lagak, but I don't think I care about losing the Gravestalker, so I do think I'm going to attack with the Gravestalker just to keep things happening in the game. It appears we may have reached stalemate. Glide car. Okay, they get to scry. This is kind of scary. They can turn it into something that flies and gets counters, so it does eventually get bigger than Ketrodon. Drew another land. Does mean we're less likely to draw lands in the future. I think I'm still happy with our attacks. All right. They are going to block this time. They'll put 1 counter on it. It will at some point get bigger than the Ketrodon. Hazard. Okay, this is rude. Our opponent is drawing too many good things. Rise from the Wreck. Wow, that's so good here. Unfortunately, it does look like we're only getting 2 things back, but the 2 things we get back are pretty huge here. So we'll go ahead and cast that. I do think I'm going to get Beast Rider Vanguard back. No mount. Vehicle. No creature. We do, because of this land, have enough to start paying 5 and finding permanence. And I think that's pretty good, especially because Broodwagon is one we would like to find. Broodwagon is one that's going to be pretty good for us. Right, they're not yet at the point where they can get 2 counters, because I think it's anything but itself. Yeah. Land. Okay. Alright, now we have the Beast Rider, Vanguard, or Powder. Elvish Refueler, that's a good one. Deathless Pilot. Okay, we have 10 lands, and all of our things, including the exhaust, is 10 mana, so I do think we're going to go ahead and just do that. I am going to play the Carrying Cruiser first. If we get Broodwagon, I think we probably want to cast it. Ooh, Earth Rumbler. I definitely do want the Earth Rumbler. I don't know if that changes what we play this turn. I don't think it does. I think we're still playing Refueler Pilot. And we'll pass 11 cards. One of them is Broodwagon. We also do know the 2 bottom lands. We are going to need to find Broodwagon. This is going to be able to start attacking and like be a problem starting with this turn if they want to. I don't think they can attack realistically until next turn, because if they tap 3 creatures to play this Voyager Glide car, then I think our attack back is just too good. All right, what's going on? I do have a lot less cards, so I need to find a way for me to be the one that breaks the board stall. Engine Rat. The perfect card to impact board stalls. I don't think Earth Rumbler is doing very much for us if we play it here. And activating Engine Rat is, you know, believe it or not, impacting the game in a pretty big way. And so, let's think. We could also consider activating our Vanguard to try to find the Thundering Broodwagon. But I think I like just activating the Engine Rat more. So we'll go ahead and do that. All right, this thing is getting pretty big, and it will have a way to kill us. We're at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lands. Is that correct? Trying to see if we can play Beast Rider Vanguard and then also cast a Thundering Broodwagon. Alright, it appears they're just not in a rush to start attacking us. I think they can deck us. But, okay, let's go ahead, activate our Beast Rider Vanguard. Alright, run over on the bottom. Let's definitely put that closer to the top. Still have 6 mana to activate our Engine Rat. And activate Engine Rat, I think we will do. There's 8 cards in our library. If we activate Engine Rat every turn, they will die. So I do think we can kind of stick that out. Broodwagon is one of these 4 cards, unless I've missed it, but I don't think I have. Alright, Pothole Whiffing. Caradora in the yard is very good for us. Don't really want them to get any additional counters, especially with the Lagger-in. I think they're deciding if they want to attack. If they attack, I am going to just take it. No reason to start blocking it now. Okay, appears they're not attacking. It's never too late, but I'm so sorry. Activate Engine Rat. We do need to keep an eye on the fact that Glory Heathlinks does have lifelink. All right, the Brood Wagon has been drawn. We do only have 11 lands, so I do think we're playing Brood Wagon and Earth Rumbler this turn. And then we'll spend some time. Okay. All right, our first 7-0. Also, the exact win we needed to get to Plat. I think this draft went swimmingly. Very happy with our deck, very happy with our decisions. We drafted responsibly with the exception of taking the Rangers Refueler. I just, I'm not afraid to play a lot of colors, but we were rewarded for our 2 colors today. And so that's the end of the draft. If you would like to support me in the future, the best way to do that is by, continuing to support the work that I do. You can do that by liking this video, subscribing to my YouTube channel. All of those are things that definitely help me. One of the best ways you can support me is by subscribing to my Patreon. On my Patreon, you do get any of my deck guides for our standard decks. You get insight into what Sanctum's testing process is like for PTs. Any thoughts that I've written, a couple of my deck guides are, 10, 20,000 words. I put a lot of thought into them, as well as a lot of my blog posts where I talk about what I'm doing to get better now that I have reached the professional scene. I guess I've been on the professional scene for about a year, which is strange to say, but you can always get better. I mean, in every game, you can hear me talking about all of the mistakes I make, and so I explore the ways I get better over on my Patreon. I really do appreciate all of the support, and I will see you guys next time.